Video number 2, we're talking about abuse, especially during the holiday season. And one of the things we're just talking kind of between the videos is really what you have, like, you have to control your emotions, because your emotions are going to affect everybody else around you. But the other one is literally thinking about like what your thoughts are on how to deal with things. Now, she's in a different situation than I am. She is in an abusive situation right now, current going on right now, abusive situation. But one of the things, and she grew up in an abusive situation, and that happens a lot, where someone who grew up in abuse, because it becomes normal. It becomes like your normal thing. And then when you get older, you think, oh, I'm going to pick differently. And a lot of times at the beginning, they're different. And then they turn out to be very similar to the abusive situation you were in.
True colors come out.
True colors come out. And so it's kind of an interesting one. Now, I will say with her situation, both of hers are dealing with very narcissistic peoples and personalities. And one of the things that I will tell you, probably the most important thing to absolutely understand when you are arguing with a narcissistic, because what you're seeing is a grown man or woman in front of you, okay? You're thinking you're dealing with this. You are so freaking wrong. What you are really dealing with is a 3 to 6 year old child that is stuck in a fight or flight situation. That's what you're dealing with. So you think you're looking at a 30 or 40 or 50 or 60 or 80-year-old person. No, you are so freaking wrong. You are dealing with a 3 to 6 year old child having a tantrum, and they are in fight or flight, because it's one of those, and you have to realize their fight or flight is against you. They think you're the one who's causing the issue. They think you're the one who's the problem. So if they're like, I need to fight her, then I need to fight her. I need to, but that's when they're not a 3 to 6 year old child on the inside. That's when they're a 40 or 50-year-old man beating the crap out of you, kind of thing. That's when you need to start thinking about it differently. So that's when a lot of times, like, people will not understand it. You're dealing with two energies at the same time, and that's what narcissistic energy is all about. Is at times they're that 3 to 6 year old child, and at times they're a grown adult. So you have to know, like, who am I talking to at this time? That is like a thought that you should have running through your mind all the time. Am I dealing with the child, or am I dealing with the adult? And they're going to interchangeably change, like literally within moments of each other, because something that you say to that adult is going to trigger that child. And then that child is going to trigger that adult again. So it's like this endless cycle of being triggered over and over again. So, and a lot of times people are like, well, if he hits me, I'm going to hit him back. He's bigger than you. Or if she hits me, I'm going to hit her. It's one of those, now you're just fighting with the child.
Yes.
And they're stronger than you are usually. It's one of those. So you have to really think about what is your way out. And your exit plan is so important. How are you getting out of this situation? Where are you going? Now, in her situation, she has children as well. And so when I was a child, all I had to worry about was me. There was only one. I got me, and I just need to deal with me. When you have children, it's one of those, your children need to know safe words. They need to know where they can go to be in a safe situation. And they need to know not just like one neighbor or two neighbors, maybe 5 or 6 different neighbors that know a little bit about the situation, just a little bit of situation of they need to come here and be safe.
You have to have an escape plan.
An escape plan. And like, can they get out their window? Can they not get out their window? Where can they hide? All of those things have to be thought in advance, because if the situation is going down, a lot of times they don't have time to think about it. They have to know what the plan is. And they have to know, like, where everything is going. And one of the things in my mind is, many years ago, we had a little fire in the garage or whatever else, and my daughter was like 5 at the time. And I told her, I said, you run to the neighbor's house, and you be safe, because our place was like, go meet at the mailbox, and then we'll go from there. I'm here at the mailbox, I'm like, you go to the neighbor's place. Well, what she was freaking out about is I didn't turn around and run with her to the neighbor's house. I went back in. So she's like, oh my gosh, my mom is now going into this fire. It wasn't a huge fire. It wasn't like very little damage or whatever else, but lots of smoke and all that kind of stuff. It's a child. It was humongous, but it's one of those, they have to understand that you have a different priority, and you need to let them know in advance, like, mom may not be following you, but you need to go tell this person this safe word. You need to go tell this person our safe word, and that means they're going to pull up a piece of paper, and this safe word means call 911 to my house right now, or keep my child here, and if anybody in my family comes over, don't say that this child is here. Hide them in a freaking closet.
And you can also text your friend or neighbor that safe word, and the kids already know the safe word, and they'll just go right over and they know exactly what's going to happen, what to do. But if you know it's already starting to get bad before they even get home, when it gets worse, always give the kids a heads up. Let them know. Remember the safe word. Remember the plan. Always let them know.
Well, and part of letting them know is like, I may not be following you. I have other things I need to do. Your job is to take care of you, because once I know you, once I know you're safe, I'll be okay.
Yes, we want to protect our babies. No matter what age they are, we want them safe.
My baby's taller than me, and I'm still the same way. It's like, I want to make sure they're okay, so then I know I'm okay.
Yes.
And I think that's kind of the important part.
That's being a parent. When you're a good parent, that's being a good, loving parent.
But it's one of those, making sure that they know that your plans are separate from theirs, or what they need to do is separate from what you need to take care of. That's important.
Yes.
That's the important, stuff. Now, for me as a child, I only had to deal with me. But it's one of those, when you have kids, you never stop being that parent. You never stop taking care of them. So your first priority is to make sure that they're safe, because then once you know, they're in a safe spot, they're going to be okay, then it's okay for me to be okay. Because a lot of times, parents don't really calm down until they get to that safe space. I know my kids are okay.
Yes, and you are going to be okay, because the cops are already being called. They're about to get to your home, so you're going to have support. You're going to have that protection coming to you. So just keep the situation as calm as you can with your partner, with your boyfriend, or whoever you're with, until they get there.
Yeah.
Because if you escalate it more before they get there, like you said, we're always close to death, so we never know what could happen.
And I think people that grow up in abusive situations, you realize how close you are. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yes.
it's like most people are like, oh yeah. It's one of those, you have no idea how close you are to death at any given time.
Yes. And you literally can't sleep at night because you're worried, is he going to do this while I'm asleep? Or is she going to do this while I'm asleep? And then you worry about the children, and you jump to make sure they're okay. Or he got up to go to the kitchen to get some water. You're going behind him to make sure he's not going to mess with one of your kids.
Right.
It's you have that just running through your mind of, you need to protect your family.
You need, and I think that's probably the best things is making sure that you have a clear plan with your kids, clear plans with neighbors or friends that live close by, making sure that they know what's going on or what the situation is, and making sure that your kids know that your plans are separate from theirs.
Yes.
I may not go with you to so-and-so's house, but I need to take care of this. And then once the situation starts coming out, and it's they're oh, I can come out because the cops are there. It may not be, it still could be a very fluid situation, even with the cops around, until everybody is to a calm state. It's one of those. Now, that can be something that can still be very scary for them, but it's also to understand, this is just the process we have to go through to get there.
Yes.
It's
going to eventually end with us.
It's eventually going to end with us, because if not, what happens is the abuse keeps going. And that's the sad part, is that so many families, people that grew up in an abusive situation, end up marrying someone who's abusive, and then those kids, that's all they've ever known is abusive situations. So then they go into more abusive situations, and it just keeps going and going and going.
And sometimes you just stay with that person until one or the other.
Until someone kills someone else. And that is the whole sad part, but it's kind of the sad.
And if you do stay with your abuser, if you do stay with them throughout your marriage, just know when your kids do grow up, they are going to ask you, why did you stay?
Why did you stay? Definitely.